What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome back to Perry's Politics Today. I hope everybody is ready for a nice weekend. Hopefully you have a nice weekend. But we're going to get into what's not so nice. And that's this tariff war that Trump got going with all these other nations, right? So Trump coming out here trying to bully and do anything he can to these other nations, but thinking they're going to stay quiet. But not so much. They're responding. They're retaliating. And we're going to get into China. China came out there today. They already had 20% on them. No, okay. Basically, they matched what Trump did. They had 20% tariffs on them. Trump raised it to 34%. Then they came back and put 34% tariffs on all U.S. imports. And I'm going to show you this clip because it's sort of interesting about just how all this unfolded. And in the meanwhile, the stock market has continued to plummet. And yesterday, I think we lost it went down 1,700 points. Today, I seen two reports. One said 2,000, one said 2,200. So that's around about 3,700 to 3,900 points. The stock market has fallen since the idiot want to start this tariff war.
Wow.
Yeah, you gonna say something?
No, that's just unbelievable. Go ahead. Sorry.
Let's get into this video on how all this came down with China.
With a slew of announcements across multiple ministries, it's showing that it has no intention of backing down when it comes to a trade war with the United States. Now, as well as matching President Trump's 34% additional tariffs on U.S. goods, it also placed export controls on 7 rare earth elements that are used in things like consumer electronics. And it also placed 11 American companies to this unreliable entities list, essentially barring them from doing business in China, and placed export controls on 16 American firms. It also filed a lawsuit with the World Trade Organization accusing America of violating WTO rules and being a unilateral bully. Now, with these latest tariffs by President Trump, they add to 20% tariffs that were earlier imposed, taking it to 54%. And that will have a big impact on China's economy, which has relied on exports to grow. But one China insider told me this also presents an opportunity for China, that it's not just China that's been targeted, that other countries that are key U.S. allies have also been targeted. And while they will want to negotiate with the U.S., they will also be looking to each other and to China. And so this gives China an opportunity to deepen its diplomatic and economic ties with countries like the European Union. He also said that China may want to hold fire for a minute and wait to negotiate with the United States and wait to see what comes from the domestic as well as external pressure, and that it will want to perhaps see how that plays out and then be in a better position to come to the negotiating table. Laura Westbrook for SABC News, Hong Kong.
Yeah, so it's not only going to hurt us financially, American businesses, American farmers. Like, what do people think? Like, China going to stop using our products less and less because they're not going to want to pay the tariff fees. Just like people in the United States that get things from China might be more hesitant because they don't want to pay the extra money that they're going to have to pay with the tariff war going on. So that's one of the things that's happening. And on top of that, it is opened up an opportunity because we don't lost all our friends, our allies. It's given China an opportunity to mend with them. If this problem don't get fixed soon, we might be a country all alone in a couple years with no friends whatsoever. Pops and Sherelle?
It's just
Well,
unbelievable. Go ahead, Pop. You go first.
I would say it's almost like that now. Yeah, that everybody picking sides, but the United States, so like just making some crazy moves that don't make sense. But I ain't up there, but don't make sense to me. A lot of stuff that he doing, but it's making a mess.
It's a mess.
Making a mess.
I mean, it's really weird because if I take myself out of it, step out of it, you can't blame China. They're not stupid. They're going to go find other allies. We're not going to sell. We're going to become a third world country in a minute because progress always moves forward, right? So now China's going to hook up with England and the EU and stuff like that. We are being pushed out. 34%. Do you know how much of an increase that is?
Yep.
It's just unbelievable. It's not much more for me to say. We're stuck in this hellhole. That's what I call the United States now. We're stuck here, and we are just victims of a crazy mentally ill president that doesn't even know how to run his own businesses. He filed personal bankruptcy 6 times. And now you're trying to make the United States bankrupt too? This is just sad.
Well, that's exactly where we at. But it's not like we wasn't warned, because I'm going to play this clip of Mitt Romney warning us about this when Trump was talking about his 35% tariffs back in the day. And he's 100% spot on when he talk about it. But with these tariffs, like people, it's like we're going to go through a financial hard time. Then you can be missing things that you enjoy or things that you wanted to get. Because it's going with tariffs, with this terrorist war, all these items going to be affected. Whether we ship them out or we was importing them, it's going to be non-select, right? We cell phones, televisions, and we know we get a lot of television from China, computers, toys, cars, clothing, shoes, wines and spirits, furniture, and fruits and vegetables. Not everything come from China, but everybody we having a tariff war with, and that is at this point, everybody. Mexico sent a lot of products over here, and people saying that we probably start feeling the effects from the grocery things with the perishable items probably faster because, they had to keep replacing them more often. But within probably a month.
A month?
About a month, we're going to start to feel effects from this war. And then I seen another article where they were saying Canada is fighting back, and they threatened to add tariffs or either surcharges to the electrical power they send to New York, Michigan, and Minnesota. So I guess those surcharges, unless the government gonna cover it, for those citizens, they gonna be paying more as if they ain't already paying too much already. But here is Mitt Romney talking about the idiot.
Donald Trump's plans were ever implemented, the country would sink into prolonged recession. A few examples. His proposed 35% tariff-like penalties would instigate a trade war, and that would raise prices for consumers, kill our export jobs, and lead entrepreneurs and businesses of all stripes to flee America. It would be very bad for American workers and for American families. But you say, wait. Isn't he a huge business success? Doesn't he know what he's talking about? No, he isn't. And no, he doesn't. Business genius, he is not. Successfully bringing jobs home requires serious policy and reforms that make America the place businesses want to come, want to plant, and want to grow. You can't punish business into doing what you want.
Well, he tried to tell us, didn't he?
What happened to the reasonable Republicans like Mitt Romney, the people that are real billionaires? I mean, I think Mitt Romney ran against Barack Obama. So I was voting for Barack no matter what. But where are the reasonable Republicans to stop this? This is just, no wonder they're closing the borders. They've done this. Remember, I tried to get a passport, was it a month ago? We are stuck in this hellhole because they know what they're doing, but he doesn't care. This is for his own financial gain. So he has some money and contracts when he's not president anymore, or as he's the future dictator. Take a pick.
They're just crazy. They're really insane. The stuff that they're doing, you have to say they're crazy. Somebody in the right mind wouldn't do the things that he's doing now.
It's not like that these Republicans don't know what's going on. He's just doing everything promised in Project 2025 that he tried to distance himself from. Remember that? He said, I don't want anything to do with Project 2025. But people are going to be starving. People aren't going to have jobs. I mean, this is just it. Life doesn't get any worse than this. And China is forced to do what they're doing because America's coming across like we are a real nut job right now. So they have to make friends with other people. So by the time Donald Trump takes his trip to the upper room, and I really do hope that's soon, it's going to take another president decades to recover from this. Because once they start creating allies without the United States, they're going to realize, well, we don't need them for nothing.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to happen. And then, and Trump just want to keep playing these games. He want to be the strong arm guy on the playground. That's regular. He want to be the regulator, right? Now, but sometimes he get to realize the shit don't work out. Look at the bankruptcies. Look at the tariff war starting to backfire. And even, let's talk about TikTok. Trump was the one brought it up about 4 or 5 years ago that he wanted to get rid of TikTok for national security. I think everybody can remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Biden left and said that was his problem. I guess Biden didn't feel the same way. He came back, supposed to had solved the problem, like banned them, but he really didn't do it. He wanted to be the savior. So he'll push things down the road. Now, he just gave them, because the deadline was tomorrow, he gave them a 75-day extension for them to work out a sale, right? But I also seen today that the reason why they was close to selling TikTok, but when he brung on those new tariffs, China stopped that whole thing. So I'm not sure what's going to happen in 3 months, 75 days. I'm not sure what's going to happen. That's like 2.5, 3 months. So
I know what's going to happen. No, mark my words. This is what's going to happen. China is going to say, to hell with the United States. I'm not selling shit. We're going to keep TikTok the way that it was. And the rest of the world is going to be able to have TikTok except for United States. And now I'm going to have to call my family in England when I want to do research on something. If I want to know the latest TikTok recipe, we are here's making us a third world country. We're not going to have modern technology anymore because nobody wants to work with the United States. And our lives are going to be like the current lives of the Russians. You know how they have no freedoms, everything is propaganda. He's trying to turn the United States into Russia. And I'm too old to become a mail order bride because everybody going to be trying to get out of the United States. Just like the Russians. You know how they have all those mail order brides? We're going to have a whole bunch of mail order brides here. People are going to try to get out, but we're going to be trapped. And it's going to be very difficult to leave the United States. Does it sound familiar? Does the name the Holocaust ring a bell? It's crazy. Go ahead, Pop. Am I exaggerating?
Well, I mean, you out there a little bit, but you never know. But I don't think it's gonna come. I think in the end the people will win. I really do. Is it gonna be suffering? Yeah. They're gonna tighten the belt on us. Yeah. If the people that's already broke gonna be broker, yeah. Is it are they gonna keep being prejudiced? Yeah. It goes on and on, but will they win? No.
Yeah, okay, Pop. So let's just say we get a watered down version of TikTok. we're still getting behind the rest of the world. That's the most important thing. We're slowly transitioning into Russia, a third world country. We're not going to have the modern technologies. Don't you see that coming? Like, oh my, so what happens when China goes and hooks up with the EU and they have all the advanced stuff? No one wants to work with us. So then when he comes down and realizes that the whole country hates me and he tries to repair with the damage that he's caused, he's not going to be able to do it. Because if I have a good relationship, if China and the EU have a good relationship, then what the hell do we need the United States for? And they can trust the EU. No, I don't think England ever had a nut job president or prime minister. I don't think they've gone through the mentally ill running the country. I don't know why Perry's laughing. I don't know why y'all. I'm trying to tell it. I'm breaking it down in layman's terms. That man is mentally ill and he's messing up. We used to be a leader in technology and things. People used to come to us for peace. Now they just look at us as trash. You're on mute.
I mean, they looking at Donald Trump. As everybody know he's crazy. You don't let him other countries know that he's crazy. That he don't really represent the United States no more. Everybody know that he's nuts. But how to get him out of this?
That's who they have to deal with, Pop. They can't come to your house and say, let's work out a deal for the UN. They have to deal with him.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's, I don't know to what extent it's going to get, but I know it's going to get, it's rough, you know. But how far
did you ever study the Great Depression in the 1930s? It could get a lot worse, and I feel like that's where we're headed. They're already putting this.
I think without a doubt, you know.
Yeah, I don't know much about the Depression of the 1930s, but I can see your point because the shit is not ready to get bad. Go ahead, Pop.
Yeah, it's happening. You know, this is the way it starts.
Yeah,
you know. So it's gonna get bad for people, you know. So if they got a little money, they better try to put it up. Don't be spending all crazy because it's gonna get worse, you know.
Save your money. Try not to keep too much in the bank. Save your stock up on food because you're not going to be able to afford anything in a minute. Get as many canned foods as you can. What else, Pop, you used to tell us? Paper towels and all that stuff.
You know, you get what you can afford, but you know certain stuff you gotta have. You're gonna need water. I don't care. You know, you can't get up with 2 cans of soup. You know you're gonna need water. You know. So,
I mean, because I seen something today too, Pops, that the EU was saying that telling all their citizens to stock up on food and water and stuff that lasts like 72 hours.
Oh, really?
Right. I mean, because I guess, you know, like really at the end of the day, either Trump gonna back off these tariffs or when people don't bow down and give him what he wants, I think he could be using it for a reason to start a war. I mean, that's just my thought.
No, he keeps talking about Greenland and the Panama Canal. That's just common sense. We're about to go to war. We're already going to be broke as a joke. No one's going to be able to afford food, the essentials that you need. I'm not talking about splurging. Like my father said, it could be water. It could be food. It's definitely going to be keep as much cash as you can because they're telling us right now that the banks are insured and no one's going to lose any money. Do not listen to a word this administration has to say. I remember the old days when your grandfather kept money under the bed, in the mattress, under the mattress and all that stuff. He did that for a reason because they went through the Great Depression. I'm not trusting the United States with nothing. They are a bunch of liars. And it's their choice to lie. They could say, well, you know, the president's crazy. This is how I feel. But no, they're all acting like sheep. And it's going to get, I mean, we're not going to be able to afford anything. Nothing. So let's say right now, how much is eggs? I don't know. Let's say they're
no,
$5.
when I be getting, it's like $6.
So
for
how much
12
more do
for
you
the-
think it will be now? That at least bring it to $12.
Well, yeah, I mean everything. See, like people complained mostly last year about the price of eggs, but let's keep it real. It's gonna be vegetables, everything, because he's at war with every nation. Mexico give us a lot of farm products. You know what I'm saying? And now those things gonna be going up. Canada give us steel and all this other stuff like aluminum, which it affects every company because if you got a soda company that put sodas in cans, it's gonna affect them. So all this stuff gonna hurt the businesses. And we all know when the business hurt, who pay the price? It's our asses.
It's going to affect everything. Like this is just he's turning the United States into Russia. And I used to feel sorry for those people, like, oh, y'all got that little crazy man running y'all country. Oh, that's so sad. But now that's us.
No, I know. I know the feeling. And I ain't really never looked at it that way because I used to feel like, damn,
They
y'all got
gangsters.
a dictator over there. Y'all can't do nothing you want. But
They
now I'm
straight
starting to see,
gangsters.
huh?
They gangsters.
Well, you ain't lying about that. And
Straight gangsters.
mm-hmm. So, but now that's the stories that was rolling through the whole day. Now, everybody remember that story we talked about a couple days ago where Trump deported this Maryland father saying he was part of the M13 gang or something like that and sent him to El Salvador. And that they caught him leaving his job, going to pick up his autistic son, 5 years old. They went and picked him up and deported him. Now, all this time going along. Now, but the judge today ordered Trump that he got 3 days to bring that man back. And you remember what Trump was always saying, oh, well, he's out of our custody. There's nothing we could do.
Yeah.
Now, we know he's cool with the president of El Salvador. But the question is, first I was like, yeah, Trump going to follow this order and bring him back. But I'm not sure if he will or not because the judge also told him to turn around the planes, but he didn't do that. So what did you guys think on that? Oh, no, I'm going to play this clip of it. I'm going to play this clip real fast.
Judge in Maryland has given the Trump administration until Monday to return a man mistakenly deported to a notorious mega prison in El Salvador back to the United States. Joining us now, MSNBC legal correspondent Lisa Rubin. So, are they going to be able to get him back?
They've been ordered to get him back. I think there's a lot of time, Katie, between now and Monday at 11:59, which is the deadline that Judge Zinnes in the District of Maryland has set. I would expect the government to appeal that order. They did not want to have an order directing them to do this. In fact, the government's attorney tried to offer to voluntarily return Mr. Abrego Garcia. He wanted a break in the action today to see if he could negotiate that. And the reason is because they don't want that precedent. If they have a judge order the return of one person that's been deported to Venezuela in error, theoretically, they can get it in others.
And y'all catch that last part?
Yeah.
That after the judge ordered him to do it, then the government attorney's like, hey, well, can you amend that? Just we'll do it voluntarily because they don't want him to set the precedent that these judges can start ordering Trump to do something. But the question is, I'm going to ask both of y'all, what do y'all think he's going to do? Do you think he's going to follow the judge's orders?
He can't follow the judge's order. So every once in a while, I'll watch Fox News or I'll go into a live chat that's all Republican. And these people are so brainwashed. They were saying, oh my God, these Dems are crazy. They're idiots. Don't they see that these people are gang members and they're going to come back and kill us all? He's trying to save our country. They really believe this as food prices go up. They really think that all Hispanic people are a bunch of gang members that just want to rob the white man. They believe it to the bottom of their being. They are, and racism is what's driving this. This is racism, kicking all the Hispanics out. So they rather be poor and live like the Russians than to put up with minorities. And that's just in them. And it's going to stay in them till the day they die. Do you agree, Pop?
Somewhat.
What's the difference? Go ahead.
All people not bad, because of race.
Not all people, but the Republicans that are in office are idiots and scary cats.
Well, I think more, you had it right when you say idiots. There a lot of idiots in it, and they don't think straight, so you're right, but the Republican Party always been for the rich guy, but they got
But
more
they
votes.
really believe that Donald Trump is doing the right thing by keep sending people to El Salvador to live in concentration camps, because that's what I'm calling them. We're never going to see that guy again. And they said that the reason they didn't let him, why he was accepted into exile in the first place, because his life was on the line because of some politics back there. We're never going to see him again. They're not going to bring him over here, because if you do one, like Perry said, you got to do them all. So, I feel sorry for that lady and that child, his child, but he's a goner. That's how I feel. Perry?
Well, you know what? Like, typically, I'm tired of guessing with Trump, but first I was like, no, he definitely got to do this. But it was a reason why he didn't want him back anyway. I feel that Maryland father being in that prison, when he come back, he don't want people to know what's going on over there. That guy been there for a minute. He sort of know what's going on. He don't want no more evidence of what people got to say about the wrongdoings, how he doing these people in these prisons. So I don't know. But let me ask the chat this. Say yes if you think he's going to bring them back. Say no if you think he's not.
If he's a goner. He's
Yeah.
a goner.
I wish I would have had a poll up for that. Just ask that question. Put a 1. No, say yes if you think he's going to bring them back, or no if not. Damn.
You don't think they're going to do it, even though the public looking at it?
No, look at all the people in the chat. You don't see one yes. They know what's up. That man is not coming back, because if you do one, then you're going to have to do them all.
Damn.
It's sad.
Okay,
you know how I am. I mean, families I love families. I love my family. I don't know what I would do if they took my father to El Salvador.
Look, we got one. Shay in Colorado says, yes, I think he has to obey the law. He didn't, but now I would think that too, Shay. I mean, I don't know if he'll bring him back or not, but he didn't obey the order when the judge told him to turn those planes around. So I don't really know. But a lot of people said no. We're getting some yeses. We're getting some yeses and a lot of no's.
And by the way, Jay, I hope they bring him back, but my gut feelings telling me no. I love families. I don't want to see a family broken apart. And because if it was me, Pop, if somebody came and just took you and said you were a gang member, I probably wouldn't be able to function. I wouldn't. My father's gone.
Yeah, no.
Sad.
So I mean, that's pretty much all the news I got for the day, besides the same things, the tariffs and all that stuff. And also, we're going to be doing another show on Sherelle's show this evening, Perry's Late Night. So
everybody just pray. I'm sad, Perry. This is scary.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It'll be all right in the end.
Go ahead, Pop.
When you say that, Pop, that could mean 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm done talking today then.
We're going to be 5 years into it. Pops, I thought you said it was going to be all right. It ain't over yet. We got 5 more years. Come on. I don't know. I seriously think, before I close out, that when all these effects of these tariffs start to kick in and a lot of people start to suffer, that something going to change. I can't tell you what. Either somebody going to kick his ass out of office or whatever. But some changes going to come around. That's what I'm thinking. So
I
those are my
agree.
last words for today. What y'all got?
Help. That's my final word for today. Help. Help us. Somebody help us.
It'll be
Yeah.
all right.
If that's your final words, we're gonna be all right, Pops.
Yeah, it will be all right.
Yeah, everything gonna be all right. All right, people. Look, thanks for joining the show. And I think we could have been, I don't know, 6, 7 people away from 40,000. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, get a video a like. And people, I want y'all to have a nice weekend. And let me know in the comments, do you think, and you can go into detail, because I'm not sure if he's gonna bring these people back or not, this father. And then with the tariffs, is this is like talking tough in about 2 weeks, he gonna come down to make peace with China? Because all this talk, we know one thing for sure, he ain't add no tariffs on Russia or North Korea. So that's all I got to say. Let's say 3 on bye, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Bye, everybody.
Bye.